わかってる。ソルは私の心配なんてしない。だってそれが前世の私の萌えだったんだもの。
何ですかこの点数は。
Episode number 9 of the Dark History of a Reincarnated Villainess, guys. One of the most annoying things in anime, and specifically seasonal anime, which is what Dark History is when it introduces a plot line, a twist, or a character too late in the show. This was the completion of episode 9. We have 10, 11, and 12. We have 3 episodes left, and it's going to introduce now another new character that's out to have Iana die, right? Somebody who's out to have Konoha die. Somebody who's trying to run amok, whatever it is, for whatever reason. Maybe they're also reincarnated. Maybe they're just somebody who's evil. Maybe they're, whatever the case is, right? This episode had Iana worry about like, oh, no matter what I do, the story always, recorrects. That may not be the case. It may be that there's another reincarnator or somebody who just kind of wants to see the world die or the world burn or whatever the saying is. And that's super annoying to me anyways, because again, we have 3 episodes left and it's going to introduce another new plotline, another new character. Mind you, throughout the season in the first 9 episodes, we already got Soul and Ginford and Yomi. And then we recently got Cenao, right? And not any of them have really been fully fleshed out because it continues to pivot its focus, right? It started off with Soul, being her butler at, when she got put into, not hiding or purgatory, but she got put into, she got sent to the monastery. So he had to serve her. So it focused like an episode or 2 on Soul and him being like the killer. And he's been reoccurring throughout it. Obviously, he's been in love with her ever since. He just doesn't know how to, put his feelings out there. He's the best character for sure. He's been reoccurring, but the focus then really quickly shifted to Ginford. And it showed how Ginford has kind of a soft spot now for Iana. And that took up a couple episodes. Then Yomi got introduced, which was fun. But then Yomi's kind of been just background. And then him and Soul got into a tussle. Then it introduced Cenao or however you say the police guy's name. And he took up a couple episodes. And now he's on this opposite side with Iana because, they took down the queen, or whatever else. And then introduced Manoa or whatever her name is, the white hair girl. And she was basically non-existent. And now it's going to introduce another character, another male character who is either going to also flip the script or who legitimately is like an outside force that's trying to kill them or, trying to have the story, flow or happen a certain way or something like that. And it's just like, I don't know. It just feels, I don't know how to explain it. It just doesn't flow right. And unless this is really hitting your sense of humor. And I understand, as I was watching a lot of the, the constant Iana overreacting to things, I was like, I kind of feel like this is the Japanese humor. And, that's no offense in any way, shape, or form, but the reality is humor in Japan, and I've even seen this on like TikTok and YouTube and stuff for people who do stand-up in that country, is the humor is just vastly different. It's like they basically like I don't want to I want to be really sensitive because I don't want to just paint the brush, but I want to say the standard. Let me just say that the standard atypical Japanese humor is like they'll laugh at like a fart joke or something, which I may as well, but the humor is just really different. And the reason I say that is like as I'm watching the episodes, as Iana's constantly overreacting. And the moment that I really noticed it to be specific was trying to figure out the exact moment that it happened. Because I feel like it happened earlier in the episode. Oh yeah, it was the moment with Soul. So Soul comes to she gets out of the dungeon, and Soul comes to console her. And she has a moment where it's like, oh, this is me in my past life. I got all fired up by Soul or whatever. And the moment goes on for way too long. She imagines him as a reference image, and she imagines him being cold. And then it comes into her having a moment where she was like in middle school or high school. And the moment just went on way too long. Like, it initially, right, like she turns into like a frozen skeleton. I was like, that's funny. You know, I don't even think I really laughed, but in my head, I'm thinking like, oh, that's funny. But then the moment just got stretched. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. Like, but again, I want to understand. I want to be understanding that a lot of folks may find that funny. And the humor over there, this might be that humor. But just the moment got stretched out. And then we spent some time with Iana and Konoha for a little bit in the carriage. And then another thing happens. They get back to their, I was going to say apartment, but they get back to their house. And then another thing happens in Konoha's room when they've been away, right? So how can she really be a suspect? You know, her room gets all messed up or whatever. And Konoha immediately has to react and go find this monkey monster thing, whatever. And it's just like, I don't know. It's just so tiring. It's like another thing. Like, dude, like, I don't know. It just poo-poos on the show for me. So I think this episode was okay. I think it was a 6 out of 10. I think there was good moments here. I don't think it was a terrible episode by any means. You know, obviously Soul realizing his feelings for Iana is a nice little boon. But then it gets ruined because we find out that the queen killed herself and then introduces this other character again. So now we're going to have like a 5th or 6th character, you know, by the end of the show, if it doesn't introduce one more before we get to the last episode. And it's just like at this point, it's like, well, how is it going to end? So I don't know. Don't want to poo-poo on your parade, but that's kind of how I feel. It was a 6 out of 10 episode. I think the whole show's a 6 out of 10. And it was fine. And if you found it funny, it might be higher to you. If that is the case, let me know in the comments below what your favorite part was. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week for episode 10 as we wrap this season up. And man, I am ready to be done with the fall season. So I'll just say that. All right, you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace out. One love. See you in the next video. Peace out.